Happy 2019, everybody. I am on the same struggle bus starting out 2019 that I was on in 2018. Some things never change. I'm still the same hot mess. But that said, I know you guys haven't seen my face in a while, so I just kind of want to talk about some things that have been heavy on my heart and mostly just ramble about nonsense because that's what I do. So 2019, I started it out New Year's Eve celebrating in my pajamas. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't feel like I missed a thing. I was home in my pajamas. I did light a sparkler and pour a glass of champagne. And I don't know, I'm just at a point in my life where I don't feel like I'm missing out on all that craziness. It was kind of nice to sit home. I'm getting old. So my skincare routine so far in 2019 is apparently, or the skincare plan is apparently to gain so much weight that it all fills in the cracks and wrinkles. So the problem with that is that takes away from the weight loss program plan goal I'm supposed to be having. So it's like a vicious cycle. So far in 2019, I have overslept straight through my alarm twice. Y'all, it's only the 9th. And most of those days were weekends and holidays. So the few work days that we've had in 2019, I have slept through 2 of them. And there is not many feelings in the world that are worse than flinging your body up out of bed, not knowing what time it is, but knowing your tail is late. And you don't even know how you're going to get it all done. And you're screaming like a drill sergeant through the house, get up, whatever. So that's been a little crazy. I've also somehow managed to land on a radio station that I've been straight jamming to and feeling like I got it going on. And I'm talking some, y'all, I'll be ashamed. Because I like to think I'm hip. I like to think I'm cool. But, I'm talking straight up some Phil Collins, Eagles, 38 Special, Chicago. Y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. And I've turned into my mother. I've turned into my mother, Phil Collins. It's almost like I should be ashamed, but I'm not, because I'm rocking out going down the road. And I don't know when I started listening to such old music, but I am, and I'm not ashamed. So also today in 2019, at work after lunch, which was, around 12-ish, and I ate at work on my job, and because it was kind of a rush day. And so I get home around 6:37-ish, I don't know, and breeze by a mirror and notice I have this humongous chunk of black food smack in between my teeth. And nobody bothered to tell me. They let me go all day like that. So that is how my 2019 is starting out. Now, that's not to say I've given up hope. That is not to say that I don't think it can get better, or to sound like I'm complaining. What I'm saying is I'm owning the fact that I'm a hot mess. I'm owning the fact that I am so quirky, and I'm okay with it. And like this eye over here has been twitching for literally probably 3 straight months, if not longer. So, any y'all medical people out there, if that's a thing and I need to get checked out, I'm gonna need y'all to private message me and tell me about it. Because seriously, like, I don't know if y'all can see it. I feel it. It is twitching. It's not a strong twitch right now, but sometimes during the day, it's like, I swear everybody can see it. But it's been twitching literally for at least 3 straight months. So, that said, it is a new year. Most people make resolutions. I know y'all probably don't believe this, but I personally try to be a good person and always learn and grow and be better. I probably fail more times than not, but I do. That is kind of my, life goal or my mantra or whatever you want to call it. I always try to just be better. So I don't especially tend to make New Year's resolutions because I am a screw up and I know I'm going to blow it, and then I'm going to be mad at myself, and then I'm going to be depressed, and then I'm going to be sad, and then I'm just going to be all kinds of down. So I don't generally make resolutions. I try to kind of resolve to be a better person as I go along. However, I have declared this January, people just jump right in on January 1. They're like, oh, as of today, I'm a different person. I'm this. No. I'm going to need some time to research. I'm going to need some time to test the waters and kind of get some data. I'm going to have to research and figure out what exactly I need to tweak, which is probably everything, but you got to pick and choose like the top priorities, because obviously you can't fix everything, even though I need to. So I've kind of decided that I'm going to just screw up as much as I want in January and be totally okay with it, because it's trial and error, and I'm going to figure out what I really, really, really need to hone in and focus on. And I'm going to use that time to really self-assess and come up with a game plan. I've already started doing this as of like 5 minutes ago, okay? If I'm being real honest, I've kind of blown the first third of the month, I guess. But I did see in the limited time that I scroll on Facebook, people are coming up with a word like of the year or whatever that's kind of what they're going to focus on. And at first I thought, I'm way too moody for that. I got way too many personalities. I cannot commit to just one word. I cannot do it. Like, it's not possible for me to commit to one word. It's just, I'm all over the place. Like, I can't do it. And one word, I mean, my whole life I've been told I was, need to listen more, talk less. In fact, I had a fantastic English teacher in high school, and she was phenomenal, shaped my life in many ways. She's actually on my Facebook, so I don't know if she'll see this, but she really had a profound impact on me. And I remember writing papers, and she would correct my papers, and she would write, mark things out and put wordy, like just, she was not wordy in telling me that I was wordy. So, I learned to be less wordy on paper. However, in the verbal sense, clearly not so much. So, I have really put some thought into this, and I have decided that I have picked a word. And one of the things that caused me to come up with this word are challenges from 2018, but really challenges throughout my life. We all have them, and to some they're drops in the bucket. They're nothing. They're not even blips on the radar. But when you're in a storm, no matter how small, it's very real to you. And some people feel things more deeply. Some people are more sensitive. Me, on all counts, I feel stuff. Okay, I get all in my feelings about everything. It doesn't even matter. I mean, football, I can cry watching a football game, and not because somebody's winning or losing, but because somebody, I see them on the sidelines praying. I mean, seriously, I'm that emotional. I just, I cry all the time. Caden is constantly like, Mama, seriously, you need to, which now he's like, Mama, seriously, this music, like, I can't. But he could attest to the fact that I'm an emotional being, and sometimes you get misunderstood when you're emotional, but it's a gift and a curse, I would say, to feel things so deeply, and to be misunderstood. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though it makes me a complete wackadoodle most of the time. But 2018 did have some challenges, and that's part of the reason you haven't seen my face, which, again, probably some of you are like, I kind of enjoyed it, and now you're ruining my 2019. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. Just bypass. Just keep scrolling. But I don't know when it became so commonplace and so accepted to attack people, to be ugly to people. And we're talking grown people, y'all. This is not just a problem among children. Bullying is so real and so ridiculous and so unnecessary. And the thing that's so hard to take away from that, when you're the one on the receiving end of a bully's attacks is it's something wrong with them. And so really, it's crazy to feel sorry for someone that's attacking you and causing you so much pain. But really, that's what we need to do. Like I said, a lot of ugliness, a lot of just nastiness out there. And I don't know why. I don't know why we can't stop and think and just, what do you have to gain by hurting another person? And how can you do it and not feel shamed? But that did happen to me some in 2018. Early on in 2018, I had people on social media, grown people, attacking me, calling me out by name, saying things that were not true. And I have this tendency, because I am the ultimate doormat. Do you hear me? You can just beat me up, throw it at me, call me every name in the book, and I'm going to cower, and I'm going to drop my head, and I'm going to say, what more you got? Just lay it on me. Because I don't know where I get that. I don't know, because my family isn't really like that. I mean, they will take it to a point, but at some point they stand up for themselves. And my sisters always told me they found me under a rock and took pity on me. And maybe that's why, because genetically I don't stand up for myself. I will cower, I will run, I will retreat every time. Now, you mess with my kids, different story. You mess with somebody I care about, different story. But if you mess with me, I will let you. And that's not an invitation for anybody out there to bring me some abuse, because I've had my share. But I did have some people just really cause me to go to a dark, quiet place to retreat, because that's what I do. And I gave in to them, and I let them win. And it's not the first time in my life I've done that. I've done that, pretty much it's a pattern with me. And so, and a lot of times that's misconstrued. People assume I either did something wrong or that I'm full of myself and think I'm too good for this or that. But the truth is, I just retreat. I do not like confrontation. I can't function in that environment, and I will let them win. And the thing that I've realized is, because I feel like a lot of people do that, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, and maybe that's why this has been heavy on me to say. But I feel like I'm a smart girl. I make stupid decisions sometimes. And, I act with my heart sometimes, which gets me in trouble. But I'm fairly intelligent. So how foolish is it to let someone who does not care about you at all define you, make you live less than make you live less of a life than you deserve? Why would you even let them be on your radar? Why would you let them win? Why would you let them scare you, make you run? You just keep doing you, and don't let them in your space. Why would you let them invade your happiness or take up any space whatsoever in your heart, in your life, in your mind, in your thoughts? Easy to say, harder to do, because here it is, January, and I think this happened back, I don't know, April-ish, March, April, May, somewhere around in there. And I literally curled up in a ball, ducked my head, tucked my tail between my legs. And even though I did nothing wrong, I retreated and I disappeared. And that's kind of what I do. I just want to become invisible. And honestly, someone that would do that to you is hoping for that, because for whatever reason they're threatened. I don't know why anybody would be threatened by me. I mean, I'm no threat to anybody, but you don't know what's going on with another person. So if you do find yourself the victim of somebody's attacks, it's a tough one. Stand strong, stand firm, block it out. Like I said, easier said than done. So I also, in my research, ran across something that I wrote New Year's of 2014. So a few years. It's been 5. I'm pretty wise. When I look back, sometimes I'm like, wow, I said that. Oh, wow, I'm brilliant. So I had one of those moments, and I I wrote this out, and it was really short, but it was kind of profound to me for what I was going through in that moment in my life. And I remember when I found it just a couple of days ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks because it took me right back to that place. I knew exactly what I was doing that made me write this out. And it's the patterns that I talked about. It's the, letting people win. It's the letting people take, tap you dry, and then you have nothing left. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot do it. So, and I'm a giver by nature, so that's a problem. And I never ask for anything in return, don't even know how to. Another thing I need to work on. But what I wrote was, and I have it written up here, so I'm gonna read it just because I know I can't remember it from memory, and I don't want to butcher it. So it's, sometimes you have to be a taker in order to be a better giver. Okay, that sounds a little... Okay, well, what do you mean by that? Okay, so sometimes you do have to be a taker in order to be a better giver. You have to take yourself back to your roots, take a time out, take a stand, take no crap, take a bow, take a break, take a nap, take whatever you need. And then when you've taken all that you can to clear your mind and your heart, take back control of your life, take chances, and in turn, give others the chance to see all the wonderful things that you have to offer. And I don't mean do that for anybody and everybody. Be selective. Be selective about who you let in your life, who you give those chances to, who you give those opportunities to, who you allow in. I'm a very private person. It's very hard for me to get on and talk, but sometimes I feel very led to do so because, I can't speak for what the man upstairs does or the plans he has. It's greater than anything I can ever fathom. But sometimes he lays really heavy on my heart. And like I said, here it is. It's 3/4 of a year really since I've been visible on social media. And so this has just really been eating at me. So I know he's got a plan. I know there must be somebody out there that needs to hear my crazy talk. So here I am. So the takeaway from all of that is, we're rounding back to what I was trying to say a little while ago. My word for 2019. Lots of words out there. I could have chosen anything. And again, I'm wordy. So the fact that I chose this one, I feel really strongly about it. And the word is overcome. And it's a simple word, but I really think it's complex in its own way as well. I think we hold on to things. We don't deal with things. And that's not to say everybody. That's just to say that sometimes there are things that you really don't know how to deal with. So you have no choice but to hold on to them. You have no choice but to dwell on them or let them build up or let them shape your decisions or who you are or how you handle things. So that's not an abnormal thing for people to hold on to past hurts, to let them cause you to react in certain ways. And so, again, 2019, overcome. And I don't know if any of you need to pick that word. I just spit everywhere. Good gracious, I need to overcome that. And y'all probably need to overcome it too, even though you were like just visually saw it and didn't actually get the spray. But anyway, so overcome. So 2019 is my year to overcome my self-doubt, overcome my past hurts, overcome fear, anxiety. I struggle with anxiety, seriously struggle with anxiety. That's why I'm not live right now. I've done it in the past. It takes so much out of me to hit play when you're live. I don't know why, because I'm going to put this out there too. It's just being vulnerable is hard. So I'm going to, some of the things I want to overcome and some of the things you may need to overcome. I don't know. That's something you have to reconcile in your own heart and mind. But I do think I personally, there are a lot of things I need to overcome. Life is meant to be lived. We only get one shot at it. We get lots of chances in life to change the path we're on, to change the way we're doing things, but we only get one life. And if you let anything that's holding you back rob you of that joy and those moments, what a tragedy. And I've let things that I need to overcome rob me of a lot of joy. I've let them hold me back from a lot of opportunities, a lot of adventures. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't. Like I said, I have a notebook. I keep a notebook, and I'm not going to show you what I wrote in it because it's none of your business. But notebook, I mean, it's just a plain, whatever, plain notebook. And I know that some people believe you can be religious or spiritual. A lot of people believe you can't be both. I think you can. I think you can get in tune with who you are. I think there's that still small voice inside that comes with spirituality that literally is part of being religious. I believe that. I believe words have power. I believe taking control of what you feel has power. So I believe writing things down, whether it's in the form of poetry, a list, whatever, you release it in a sense, and you are forced to face it, deal with it, accept it, reject it, fight against it, whatever. But for me, writing as well as art are very therapeutic. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be writing something that you think is going to be published or that, anybody's ever going to read. This is for you. This is, just my thoughts on it. And again, you don't have to buy a notebook. You don't have to write anything you don't want to. I'm just telling you that it helps me tremendously. And I write things from what I'm grateful for. Words of gratitude. It's very powerful, and to read them and to see it written out. It can be anything from, well, I'm thankful I didn't have quite as bad of a hair day today. I mean, it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm the greatest at everything. I just feel like if we are more gracious and show gratitude for the things we have, and if we stop to actually look for things to be grateful for, that's the key. I mean, so many times we roll through life looking for something to be upset about, something to be agitated about, something to be offended about. What if we instead looked for things to be grateful for? They're all around us. And we lose sight of that because we take it for granted. So we don't honor that. And in doing so, we kind of get in negative places. And, I think if we all got back to showing gratitude for things, finding things to be thankful for, whether it was, man, when I went through that XYZ restaurant drive-through today, that burger was better than it's ever been. I don't know what the deal was, but today it was just a really good burger. That's something to be thankful for. Silly, I know, but we all need to be more grateful for the things around us. Give thanks and acknowledge it. And also write your challenges, write where you want to be, write your goals, write the things you want to change. It's therapeutic. Get it out, release it, because if you don't, you're going to hold on to it and you're going to have something to overcome. So back to overcoming, I'm going to overcome fear, anxiety, self-doubt. Probably not fully overcome it, but I'm going to fight against it. I'm going to talk it to death, if nothing else. I mean, it'll surely run in the other direction if I just start running my mouth, because y'all know I'm long-winded and wordy. But I'm going to overcome the control that what other people think of me has over me. I'm going to overcome negative people in my life. I'm going to really work to overcome just hate, resentment, anything that I have or anything I see in others. I just, for me, there's so much in my life I need to overcome. And that's not to say I have a tragic past or skeletons in my closet. I mean, we probably all do, but it's nobody's business, my own and your own. So when I say I've got things to overcome, that doesn't mean I have deep, dark secrets. That means there are things throughout my life that little by little by little by little, have molded and melded into this humongous thing that's shaped who I am, and it's affecting my quality of life, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I imagine if you really get alone with yourself and do some self-assessments, you could probably say the same thing. I'm not saying you need to pick a word for 2019. I'm not saying you need to go, oh, overcome. That's the magic. That's what I'm going to do. I'm saying make resolutions if you want to. Don't if you don't. Write if you want to. Don't if you don't. But what I'm saying that really should be a no-brainer and a non-negotiable, self-assess and see what you really do need to work on, because sometimes you have to be a taker in order to be a better giver. Sometimes there are things in our life that we let hold us back, shape us, define us when we don't have to. Sometimes we're letting people in our life that really don't belong there. You can keep them at a distance. You can pray for them. You can, speak good over them, whatever you need to do. But you don't have to let that in your life. You don't have to let it affect your life, alter your life. And so for 2019, I have a feeling that a lot of you out there are on the same struggle bus as me. And it's time to get off the struggle bus. It is time to take back your power. Get to the core of who you are. Find out who that is and go live it. Don't settle for just accepting that this is where you are and this is how what it's come to be. Overcome whatever it is you need to overcome, whether it's, man, I really hate going to the grocery store. And I do, because I get 82 things that aren't on my list on the first aisle, and then my bill's stupid, and then I'm stressed about the money. So I need to overcome my hatred of going to the grocery store. It can be that simple, but overcome anything that steals your joy. Make it a goal, make it a resolution, whatever you want to call it. Make it just a work in progress. And you don't have to start in January like me. You can say January's a trial month. It's a, freebie. It's a, let me figure this out. Let me do some research kind of thing. And then start in February or whenever. It's up to you. There are no rules to this. There are no rules. I mean, I get New Year, and that's kind of a pivotal, symbolic thing. It doesn't have to be. But I think if we all self-assess, really figure out what it is that's holding us back, overcome it, we'll start to get our fire back. We'll start to get our joy back. And in turn, we'll start being nicer to others. And maybe it'll turn society around. I don't know. I mean, we got something's got to give, because it's ugly out there. It's scary out in the world right now. And I really think if we just all started loving who we are and doing whatever it takes to do that, loving yourself again so that you can love others, maybe we wouldn't be so vile and vicious. And I'm not saying everybody's vile and vicious, but I know I can be if I absolutely have to be. I try not to be. But I've seen a lot of really things that just break my heart. So the place to start is with the person in the mirror. And for 2019-ish, I'm going to start doing that. So again, I don't know who might have needed to hear this, and if you even got the message through all my random rambling. I did clean the food out of my teeth before I talked to y'all, so hope y'all appreciate that. And I'm going to work on not letting the people who want to tear me down win or have power over my life. Because I'm going to take back the power, and I've laid out how I'm going to do that, and I know it's going to be an uphill climb, and let's face it, I am not in shape, and I'm going to be huffing and puffing the entire way, but I'm going to do it. So hope you guys are setting some goals to do some similar things, or whatever it is in your life that you need to address and do for 2019. So happy New Year to all, and have a great night.